Justana had always been intrigued by the stars. On clear nights, she would stand in the small backyard of her aunt's suburban home, a makeshift observatory cobbled together from an old telescope and her boundless imagination. The stars seemed like pinholes in the curtain of night, each one a gateway to unimaginable adventures. She would trace the constellations, murmuring their names like a sacred incantation: Orion, Cassiopeia, Andromeda. Her mother had shared stories of the cosmos, of galaxies spiraling in the silent ballet of space, of nebulae where stars were born and black holes where they died. Those nights were Justana's most cherished memories, the sound of her mother's voice mingling with the rustle of leaves in the gentle night breeze. But those stories had faded into painful silence 5 years ago, leaving Justana with nothing but echoes. Justana's mother, a brilliant astrophysicist, had succumbed to cancer when Justana was only 5. The loss had left a void, filled only by the cold mechanics of daily life with Aunt Sally, who, despite her good intentions, could never quite understand the imaginative and curious mind of her niece. Her father, a senior engineer at Massive Dynamics, had been absent even before her mother's passing, his presence reduced to brief visits and shorter calls, always talking about a mission that was too complex for her young mind to grasp. Then, one day, he too was gone, disappeared on a mission to the uncharted expanses known as the vastness, leaving Justana in the care of his distant sister. The day Justana was taken, she was at the local science fair, standing beside her modest project on quantum physics for kids. Her display was less polished than those of her classmates, who had parents to help them build erupting volcanoes or intricate solar systems. Justana's project was all her own work, a labor of love that spoke more of her intellect than of spectacle. It was this intellect that had caught their attention. As she adjusted the placards detailing the principles of quantum entanglement, a beam of light, sharper and more brilliant than any star she had ever seen through her telescope, enveloped her. The world dissolved into a blur of light and sound, and when it reassembled, she was no longer in the gymnasium, surrounded by papier-mâché and baking soda volcanoes. She was somewhere else entirely. The air was crisp and smelled faintly metallic, a stark contrast to the musty odor of her school gym. The ground beneath her feet vibrated with the hum of machinery, and the light that bathed everything was cold and white. She turned to see a tall man in silver metallic armor stepping forward, his smile warm but his eyes serious.
Welcome aboard the Horizon, Justana. I'm Sergeant Kyle. You've been chosen to join us as a trainee medic. Here, you'll learn to save lives in ways you can't yet imagine.
As Justana listened, the seeds of a new chapter in her life were sown.
Are you ready to meet some of the people you'll be spending a lot of time with?
Their first stop was the medical bay, a room aglow with panels and screens displaying data in streams of holographic light. Here, Justana was introduced to Miss Hensley, who would be one of her primary instructors.
It's wonderful to meet you, Justana. I've heard you're quite the science enthusiast. You're going to fit in just fine here.